Hello, good morning, and welcome to Friday's edition of our program TVC Breakfast. My name is Etoma Edu.
It's a thank God it's Friday, and we'll say thank you for always being there with us. This morning again, we're here to give you all the information that you need to hear. I'm Ibrahim Shita.
Good morning, Nigeria. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Monday through to Friday, we have heard you by our side. It's a lot to talk about on the table this morning. The name is Ria Abdul.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. This is TVC Breakfast on Friday, the last day of the week, but not suddenly the last show. My name is Nelson Etta. Good morning.
Good morning. High five. Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Chuma, get it in the air. Good morning.
Absolutely better. I was humbled by malaria.
I think you passed the baton, and I refuse to take it.
Please, drop it. Jump and pass.
All right, today's Friday, and we'll be having lots and lots of conversation, especially on technology. We'll start off with the issue of the non-verbal intelligence, which is to unravel mysteries of human personality through handwriting. And then talking about technology, we'll also be looking at vulnerability assessment, understanding automated patching in software security, especially with cyber fraud, etc. And then afterwards, we'll go to Abuja studios, where we'll be discussing politics, where APC is strategizing ahead of Anambra governorship election. And Olamide Odekunle will be joining us much later on the show to bring us what is actually being talked about on the social media. But let's start off with the management of TVC Communications, which has congratulated the company's Director of News and Editor-in-Chief, Stella Jacob, on her appointment as Executive Director, News of the Nigerian Television Authority. Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TVC Communications, Victoria Ajayi, says the appointment reflects the President's commitment to strengthening national broadcasting as a platform for unity, cohesion, and diplomacy. Mrs. Ajayi acknowledged Stella Jacob's over 2 decades wealth of experience when she joined the TVC family in October 2018. She described Mrs. Jacob as a conscientious leader and astute broadcast journalist whose contributions have left an indelible mark on the organization. She said, quote, "From creating award-winning programs, nurturing young talents to ensuring the consistency and credibility of hourly bulletins, she has been instrumental in sustaining our, quote, first with breaking news," end of quote. In another quote, the CEO said, "While we are saddened to see her move on, we are extremely proud of her that her journey continues in service to the nation." Beautiful wordings there, and then fills with emotions from the side, from the desk of the CEO and GMD of TVC Communications. And I believe that a whole lot of people from the newsroom and then different departments are also not having it, that Stella Jacob is taking a bow from TVC, but then she's moving upward because she will be superintending over the newsroom that cuts across the nation, the entire nation, and of course, as they always say, of course, proudly so, and you can't dispute the fact that you can't beat the rich.
Yeah, you can't beat the rich, but let's talk about Stella Dean. My personal incursion with her was quite pleasant. I did my audition in Silverbird. That was in 2004, and I did the stuff and left. And some days later, she watched the tape and told them that this one will work here. That's right. I wasn't there. They said this one will work here, and she ensured that I got it. And funny enough, when I started with Silverbird, she had left Silverbird, so I really didn't have the opportunity to meet her in person until I joined TVC this time, and I saw her downstairs. And I told her, "Do you remember me, man?" And she said, Edu. I said, yes. You were instrumental to my getting to Silverbird, and I didn't have the opportunity to say thank you. And I'm saying thank you now. She said, "Oh, I appreciate it." One thing NTA has to be ready for is that laxity, that is known with the civil service. You're not going to get it in the newsroom. You are not going to get it in the newsroom. She is work-oriented, and she will ensure that you do the right thing.
Right.
So NTA is lucky to have her.
Very
Ria, I've got personal experience, but I want you guys to do yours first before I say mine. But Ria, what has been, of course, you've heard so much about Stella Jacob. You've been behind the camera in front of the camera while she's behind the camera, observing things as they unfold on the set. What say you to his exit? To our exit,
there's a lot of things I have to say about her, but first of all, I'll talk about when I met her first. And I agree with what you said. She is so pleasant. I mean, she's the sweetest ever. I remember when I first walked into her office, and then I heard that she could speak Hausa, and I'm like, and she's very pleasant. But let's not even talk about that. I want to focus on her achievements. As a woman, she has proven that when you work hard and you're dedicated, there's nothing that you cannot achieve. I mean, look at how she rose. Look at how diligent she is. She'll tell you something that there's nothing like impossible, and that is what I love about her. She doesn't believe that something is impossible. And I see myself a lot in her. She's a woman that I really have learned a lot from, because the fact that she believes that when you think it, you can achieve it, and that's what she has done. We've seen what she has done with TVC News, while she was, here. We've seen how she's taken the news from one point it was to where it is now. All I would say is that NTA, be ready for some action. Be ready to sit on your toes, to sit on your feet, because you cannot slack when you have her. I mean, like when you see her, you just think about news, and she's so precise in everything she does. No,
and definitely. And she's very right, because we are fond of calling her the czar of news, the general, the woman with the nerve of steel. Nelson, what say you?
Ibrahim, Etoma, and Ria, listen. Mrs. Stella Jacob deserves all the accolades she can be given, and in this world. Right. There is no one person in this industry called the news media who does not know who she is, what she stands for, and what she brings on the table. If you want real action, if you want to achieve professionalism, you want to achieve accuracy, you want to achieve excellence, the name you need to bring on board is Stella Jacob. And so we are excited for her that the presidency has recognized these abilities and qualities in her, and has given her the appointments to be called to be the executive director for news of the NTA. And so all I would say to the NTA is get ready. If you've been dragging your feet, sleeping, sluggish, and all of that, those days have come to an end now, because you don't have a lioness walking into the newsroom. At first, you're not going to be happy about it. But if you eventually walk with her, it will be better off for you guys, really, because there's a lot to be said about Stella Jacob, a whole lot that one sentence can't cover.
Let me quickly
I feel like we can do the whole show just talking about her achievements.
Let me quickly share my personal experience, with Stella Jacob. I describe her as a woman who is as significantly tough as she's, soft. Tough in terms of you guys always say, yes, she's a professional when it comes to the job. She's a core professional. She doesn't want you to slack. So the only time you get into trouble with her, when I say trouble, quote unquote, is when you don't do your job.
That's right.
And then the soft side of her is that as tough as she is on the job, she is very, very soft.
As a human being.
The human being, I mean, the humanness in her, the humanity in her, the humanitarianism, humanitarian attitude that she always portrays. I remember when I ran into financial crisis, she doesn't like me to say this, and I know she's going to definitely criticize me, but I do not care what you think, because I have to say this. I went on to her, and I was like, okay, I've got, these challenges, and when I started talking, when an employee talks to the boss, and the boss feel like, the way you started your conversation, are you resigning? I said no. I'm having financial trouble and all of that. And then that day she said, okay, can you give me account details? And then I got home, I got 50,000 naira in 2020. And then I thanked her. I said, thank you very much, and all of that. The following morning, she sent 100,000 naira. And I was like, wow.
You were excited about 50.
And then you saw 100.
Is coming.
And she said, I just do these things freely. And when I mentioned it to someone, she really, really criticized me for saying that. But today, I'm sorry, I have to say it again to the world, because that is the kindest heart I've ever met.
Maybe I should quickly add this as well. When I was writing this book, Act Like a Student, Speak Like a Boss, I sent a copy to her because I needed her to write an endorsement for it. She sat up, I think, about 2 a.m. or thereabout to read through the whole cover to cover of this book. and then wrote an endorsement for it. Y'all could just allow me to read this. She said, yeah, impossible does not exist.
That's right.
I would urge everyone to read this book and develop a can-do spirit, even when the odds are stacked against you.
That's right.
And it feels like there is no way out. There is always a way.
Out. Right.
And now, TVC is giving way to Stella Dean Jacob
Yeah.
to go to the NTA and continue her impossible abilities
So
of turning the hardest things to make it good.
The can-do spirit.
The can-do spirit, that's right.
NTA, please. You need to sit up. And I'm sure from now on, we're going to see how it changes. You're going to see how the news is going to be on NTA right now.
Trust the president. And I believe the president believes in a very strong and viral media. So for her to be recommended for that role, it spans across the nation, even outside of the country.
That's right.
So we want to see an NTA that we'll be proud of. We want to see a station that, because our job is already cut out for her, and I know the only thing that will challenge her is the fact that people will not want to do things. But she's got that level still.
You will do it.
She's going to do what you want. So we want to see professionalism at display from the persons, from the staff and professionals, at NTA, because of course we also look up to NTA. You can say so much when it comes to the National Television Authority.
Yes, when it comes to that, I actually can say, because I've had a lot of things to do with NTA, not only in Lagos, but in other regional NTA stations. Okay, it's time to sit up. It's time to do the work, because a new sheriff is in town.
Oh, Ibrahim, I think we're forgetting that.
No. I didn't forget that. A whole lot of our audience also must have been missing, Veronica Danny
On the table,
She has not resigned.
No, she's not.
But then she's been blessed with two bouncing babies. Talk about a male and a female. That's twins.
Yay!
The news came in yesterday.
Let me tell you something. Now I'm an auntie, you're an uncle, so we all have responsibilities now. We all have to put money together, to make sure that these children are okay, because it's our responsibility on this table.
Absolutely.
But I just want to say a big congratulations to her. Like, I am super excited. We miss you on the table, but yes, we want you to take care of. You need to take care of our children to make sure that they are very, very fine before you come back. But we miss you so much, and big congratulations to you.
When she left, I thought it was annual leave, and I didn't know. So when I saw the
message
news yesterday,
the message.
Are you joking, or are you serious? I thought of calling, but I just could imagine how her phone has been buzzing.
Absolutely.
So I gave you the rest. It is heartwarming, to have those two bundles of joy. Absolutely. And hey. Things are going to change a little bit.
But we got you.
Yeah, Nelson, very quickly.
Just congratulations to the Danik Boys family, for this wonderful piece you all have here. I mean, it's just joyful. And to see, I want to look Veronica in her face, really. And see her reaction to
Nelson,
this.
You better be saving money. You're an uncle.
The most beautiful thing here is that when we all introduce ourselves, she's going to be introducing herself as Iyabiji.
On the table from now
on. I know, right? Congratulations.
Right. All right, man, we need to race on quickly. It's a bundle of joy for every one of us, and we're super excited, with all the news. One moving, upward vertically, and the other being blessed with bouncing babies.